You've tried everything to change your life: affirmations, rituals, manifestation techniques. Yet somehow, the harder you try, the less it seems to work. It's as if the universe hears you, but stays silent, a silence that feels like distance. And maybe no one ever told you this, but the universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. Here lies the pain. You've been trying to speak to the universe using the language of the mind, but the universe speaks the language of the heart. When you try to control the outcome, your vibration tightens. The field senses the tension and closes. But when you surrender, something shifts. Life begins to listen again. Because feminine manifestation doesn't happen through doing, it happens through being. While the masculine asks, the feminine attracts. While the masculine searches for direction, the feminine becomes the path. Feminine energy doesn't push reality, it invites it. Today, you'll remember how to speak to the universe in the language it understands: feeling. I'll show you the feminine way to manifest effortlessly, through presence, emotion, and coherence. Because the universe doesn't need to be convinced, it needs to be enchanted. And that's what you're about to learn: how to converse with the infinite through the vibration of your own heart. When a woman speaks from her heart, the universe listens in silence. Most people try to talk to the universe by shouting intentions, pushing energy, and demanding results. But the universe doesn't respond to pressure, it responds to frequency. When a woman awakens her feminine energy, she realizes that communication with the quantum field happens through feeling, not force. In the silence between thoughts, creation begins to breathe. The universe doesn't understand words, it understands coherence. It's like a cosmic orchestra. Every emotion plays a note, and harmony appears when heart and intention vibrate in the same tone. Many women try to manifest with the mind, but it's the body that translates desire into resonance. Vibration is born not from wanting, but from being, and that changes everything. Imagine a woman who desires abundance but vibrates fear. She speaks of prosperity, yet her body hums with scarcity. The universe doesn't read her words, it feels her frequency. That mismatch creates silence, not the fertile kind, but the void of misaligned energy. The moment she feels before asking, the field mirrors her alignment. The feminine manifests through embodied emotion. It's a language of gestures, rhythm, and quiet trust. A woman connected to her body speaks to the universe without uttering a sound. Every cell becomes a prayer, every breath a message. That's true spirituality, not escaping life, but embodying it. It's not about control, it's about opening. Feminine energy creates when it softens, when it lets the heart lead. In that state, the universe is no longer something outside to conquer, but a living mirror of consciousness. It responds to surrender, not to effort. Think of the difference between pushing and allowing. Pushing comes from the mind, allowing flows from the heart. When a woman learns to allow, she discovers that the universe is not a vending machine for wishes, but a sensitive organism responding to love's vibration. This is the secret alchemy of feminine creation, turning intention into presence. The body becomes an antenna for divine communication. When she dances, she prays. When she breathes, she manifests. When she feels, she converses with the quantum field. The awakened woman doesn't need to convince the universe. She enchants it with her frequency, and that's where the mystery begins. The language of the feminine isn't logical. It's vibrational. While many ask and chase, the awakened woman attracts. And soon, she'll discover that before she can speak the language of creation, she must first learn to listen to the silence where it's born. Feminine energy doesn't speak in words, it speaks in vibration. While the masculine mind seeks to analyze, define, and control, the feminine feels, receives, and surrenders to mystery. The quantum field responds to emotional coherence, not logic. That's why what a woman feels is far more powerful than what she says. Emotion is the secret grammar of the universe. Every woman has felt how the body senses what the mind cannot yet explain. It's the heart that translates the language of the unseen. This wisdom isn't learned from books. It's awakened through presence. When she feels peace, the field vibrates peace. When she feels fear, reality echoes that same tone. The universe mirrors vibration. The masculine asks, the feminine attracts. This is the eternal dance of creation. While the masculine moves outward, the feminine descends inward. And from there, in silence, she radiates a frequency capable of shifting worlds. That's how feminine energy manifests. Not through effort, but through natural resonance with the whole. When a woman tries to control the flow, the magic fades. But when she trusts, breathes, and allows herself to feel, her vibration changes, and everything changes with it. The universe understands this language because it is made of the same essence, pure consciousness in motion. Feeling is the oldest prayer. Instead of trying to convince the field, the awakened woman learns to harmonize with it. She doesn't impose, she attunes. Just as an instrument must be tuned to sound pure, the heart must be coherent to transmit a clear frequency. That is true communication with the universe, not asking, but aligning. Imagine a woman standing before a still lake. When she drops a pebble, ripples expand in perfect circles. That's how emotion works. What she feels spreads through the quantum field and returns as experience. Vibration is both message and answer. This silent language lives in the body, in breath, in lunar rhythm, in the pulse of blood. It is the language of living creation. The feminine doesn't translate meaning, she embodies it. A woman anchored in presence speaks fluently the universe's native tongue. And here begins the deeper mystery. Before speaking, she must learn to listen. Because the universe doesn't just answer, it whispers. And the awakened feminine learns to hear that whisper in synchronicities, sensations, and the subtle signs life sends her way. A high-energy woman knows. Before she speaks to the universe, she must listen. Silence is the first form of conversation with the whole. It's within stillness that the quantum field whispers back, through sensations, synchronicities, and symbols. When she slows down and sinks into presence, she realizes the universe has always been responding. She was just speaking too loudly to hear it. Listening to the field is an act of surrender. It's not about doing nothing, but about being receptive. It's like dancing with the unseen. One step hers, one step the universe's. The heart senses subtleties the mind can't perceive. And when she learns to read them, she understands that answers come as intuition, not instruction. The universe speaks through feelings, coincidences, and sudden turns of fate. An unexpected call, a phrase overheard, a delay that changes her entire day. All of it is energetic communication. When she rushes, she interrupts the dialogue. When she becomes still, she allows the field to speak, and it always does. This silence isn't empty. It's a vibrational state of awareness. Here, the body becomes a radar, tuned to the right frequency for the next aligned step. It's the pause between breaths that reveals clarity. A woman who trusts this pause stops acting from fear and starts moving from resonance. For too long, the feminine was taught to speak, but not to listen. Listening is the altar where the universe reveals itself. When she honors that inner space, her heart expands and consciousness sharpens. The body senses long before the mind interprets, a sign of deep attunement with the field. There's an ancient wisdom in this listening. The women before us prayed with their wombs, sat quietly at the edges of the world, and heard the earth speak. That wisdom was never lost, only buried under the noise of haste. Now, the call is to remember, to listen before moving. Silence is also courage. The courage to not react, to wait for divine timing, to trust the invisible orchestra of creation. When she doesn't fill the space with noise, the universe fills it with direction. Within that stillness, purpose takes form. And when the heart becomes a living field of listening, the body awakens as a vibrational temple. Because soon she will see, the body, not the mind, is the sacred channel through which the universe responds. The feminine body is the temple through which the universe answers. Every sensation is a prayer disguised as a pulse. When a woman honors her body, instead of judging or trying to control it, she turns movement into vibrational language. The quantum field reads the body like sacred scripture. Every breath a verse, every emotion a divine frequency. Feminine energy doesn't pray with words, but with presence. When she moves consciously, when she dances, breathes, or touches her own skin, she's telling the universe she's ready to create. The body is the altar, and the heart is the priest. True prayer happens when emotion, awareness, and breath vibrate as one. Many women seek spirituality by trying to ascend, to rise, to transcend the body. But the path of the awakened feminine is the opposite: to descend, to root, to feel. It's in the body that the divine reveals itself. When she embraces this truth, the sacred enters her daily life, and existence itself becomes ritual. Notice how the body speaks when the soul is at peace, breathing deep, eyes calm, gestures fluid. And when there's dissonance, the body contracts, stiffens, aches. The body is the first oracle of the quantum field. It reveals frequency long before the mind detects imbalance. Learning to listen to the body is learning to listen to the universe. A pain, a shiver, a sudden chill. Nothing is random. Every physical signal is energetic communication. A woman who listens to her body opens a direct channel to conscious manifestation. She stops asking and begins co-creating. This connection turns daily life into embodied spirituality. Drinking water becomes an act of presence. Walking becomes prayer. Silencing the body becomes a way of speaking to the infinite. When the body is in harmony, vibration rises, and the field responds immediately. The body is the map where the divine reveals itself. There is no separation between flesh and spirit, only vibrational continuity. The woman who reconciles with her body reconciles heaven and earth within herself. And soon she'll realize that her emotions are codes, and that to feel deeply is the purest form of prayer. Emotions are messages sent to the quantum field. Each feeling is an electrical wave traveling beyond the body, silently shaping reality. The universe doesn't respond to what we think, but to what we vibrate. That's why the heart is the true interdimensional transmitter. It translates emotion into creative frequency. The feminine manifests not through thought, but through embodied emotion. When a woman fully feels something, she gives form to invisible energy. It's as if every cell of her body were sending a clear signal to the universe. This is who I am now. And the universe, in perfect coherence, mirrors that vibration back through experience. Feeling is more powerful than visualizing. Visualization is imagination. Feeling transforms the field. When a woman imagines prosperity but feels fear, she sends mixed signals. When she feels gratitude and joy for what's still unseen, she creates coherence, and the unseen begins to move toward her. Emotion is the language of the heart, and the heart speaks the language of the cosmos. It doesn't negotiate with time or doubt. It simply transmits what is felt as truth. That's why feeling is a form of silent prayer, and every coherent prayer is answered. Most people try to change reality by changing their thoughts. But thoughts are short waves. Emotions are tides. They persist, shape the subconscious, and anchor long-term frequencies. When a woman learns to use emotion as a bridge between body and awareness, the universe responds in real time. Imagine an old radio. If the frequency isn't tuned, the sound is distorted. Manifestation works the same way. Misaligned emotions create energetic noise. But when the heart is coherent, the entire field reharmonizes, and miracles become natural. Emotion is the score of creation. When a woman masters this language, she realizes she doesn't need to ask, only to feel consciously. Each elevated emotion, love, joy, gratitude, is a vibrational key that opens portals in the unseen. And here the mystery deepens. The more she feels, the less she controls. Because soon she'll understand that surrender, not effort, is the true gateway to effortless manifestation. The more a woman tries to control, the more the field pulls away. That's the irony of manifestation. Attachment to form blocks the flow. The universe responds to frequency, not to fear disguised as planning. When she releases, when she trusts, the field begins to move again. Surrender is the secret language of creation. The feminine doesn't conquer, she allows. It's water, not fire, that shapes the stone. The awakened woman understands that surrender is not weakness, but spiritual power. Letting go isn't giving up. It's aligning with the cosmic rhythm. When she surrenders, life breathes through her again. The urge to control is an act of mistrust. The mind believes that if it's not in charge, everything will collapse. But the heart knows the universe operates in perfect synchronicity. What looks like delay is vibrational refinement. A woman who trusts divine timing manifests without forcing. Surrender is a state of emotional coherence. It's when the body stops resisting and the heart emits a pure vibration. In that instant, the field responds like a soft echo. There is no effort, only natural movement. Manifestation becomes trust in motion. Active surrender is not passivity. She doesn't wait with folded arms but moves with inspired grace. It's the doing that arises from being. When a woman acts from inner alignment, every step becomes a vibrational invitation to the universe. The mind fears the unknown, but the feminine embraces it. She understands that the unseen is the womb of creation. Entering the void, she allows the new to be born. Faith isn't believing that everything will work out. It's knowing that everything already is, even without seeing how. The paradox of surrender is this: only those who release, receive. Attachment tightens the flow, trust expands it. The more she surrenders to the quantum field, the more the field organizes itself around her vibration. Manifestation becomes as effortless as breath. And soon she will realize something deeper still. The heart is the transmitter that crosses dimensions. Through it, surrender becomes living prayer. And the answer arrives before the question is ever spoken. The electromagnetic field of the heart is about 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. That's not poetry. It's physics. The heart is the true communication center between the soul and the universe. When intention is born from the heart, it crosses dimensions, dissolves distance, and synchronizes realities. The heartbeat is the language the cosmos understands best. The heart is the portal of vibrational coherence. It doesn't think, it feels. And within that pure, unfiltered feeling, the quantum field responds. When a woman connects to her heart, her energy expands, her frequency rises, and the outer world begins to reflect what the inner already vibrates. Feminine prayer is silent, yet it echoes across the cosmos. It doesn't need grand words, only sincerity. A single breath of genuine love can move energetic mountains. The universe listens to the heart the way it listens to music, and replies in perfect harmony. The heart is the meeting point between matter and spirit. It's where the unseen touches the seen. When open, the body becomes a channel of light. When closed, energy collapses. Healing the heart isn't emotional luxury, it's spiritual technology. Love is the primal code of creation. Not romantic love, but vibrational love, the one that accepts, includes, blesses. When a woman vibrates love, she emits an energetic signature that reorganizes the field around her. Everything dense dissolves before that frequency. The heart is the true manifester. The mind may ask, but the heart grants permission. It communicates to the universe what's ready to be received. When feeling and thought are aligned, coherence arises, and reality adjusts like a perfect reflection. The vibration of the heart is also a compass. It points the way even through confusion. When something is true, the body expands. When it isn't, it contracts. Learning to follow that expansion is learning to converse with God in real time. And soon she will realize that gratitude isn't the end of prayer. It's the beginning of dialogue. Because a heart that feels gratitude before receiving already vibrates as one who has. And the universe, in perfect coherence, answers softly. So it is. The feminine doesn't ask. She thanks before she receives. That's the essence of vibrational trust. When a woman feels gratitude in advance, she's already vibrating at the frequency of what she wants to manifest. The universe doesn't distinguish "it has happened" from "it will happen." It only responds to the heart's coherent vibration. Gratitude is the language of abundance. It doesn't arise when things go right, but when consciousness recognizes that everything is already part of a perfect flow. A woman who vibrates gratitude doesn't force, she flows. The quantum field reads that state as the energetic signature of wholeness. Gratitude changes the body's chemistry. It expands the heart, regulates the breath, and activates cardiac coherence. That state where emotion and reason align. In that moment, the body becomes a transmitter of elevated vibration, and the universe, like a loving echo, replies with synchronicities. To be grateful before is to declare, "I trust." Trust is surrendering to the intelligence of the whole. It's knowing that apparent absence is only the space between feeling and receiving. When a woman vibrates gratitude even amid uncertainty, she's sending a clear message. I already am what I desire. Feminine energy manifests through contentment. While the masculine seeks, the feminine recognizes. Gratitude is recognizing the present within the unseen, creating room for the new without resisting the now. The universe responds not to asking, but to the inner state of completeness. A grateful woman becomes magnetic. Her presence radiates peace, and the field around her reorganizes in harmony. People, opportunities, and paths appear as natural extensions of her vibration. Gratitude is the fertile soil where the impossible blooms. Gratitude isn't positive thinking. It's vibrational wisdom. It doesn't deny pain. It transcends it. It's the act of saying thank you, even when the result is invisible. And in that simple gesture, the universe understands. She has learned the language of creation, and soon she'll realize that gratitude itself is the cycle of manifestation. Because feeling, receiving, and thanking are one same movement in 3 rhythms. The feminine breath in conversation with the cosmos. Feel, receive, thank, release. That's the feminine flow of effortless creation. Natural manifestation isn't a complex ritual. It's the rhythm of the universe translated into human emotion. When a woman follows this cycle, she leaves mental control and enters a state of vibrational coherence. The first step is feeling. Nothing manifests before it's felt. Feeling plants the energetic code in the soil of the quantum field. When she feels truthfully, without fear, without rush, the universe receives that vibration as a silent command. It's time to bloom. Then comes receiving. Receiving isn't passivity, it's availability. A woman who knows how to receive understands that the universe responds the moment there's inner space. She doesn't push, she allows. And that act of allowing is the highest form of faith. The third movement is gratitude. Gratitude is the heart of the cycle, the meeting point between energy and matter. When she gives thanks before, during, and after, she keeps the field vibrating in expansion. Gratitude tells the universe, I trust what already is. And finally, releasing. Releasing means letting the field move without interference. It's the hardest step, but also the most freeing. When she releases, she breaks the bond of need and enters the current of abundance. The universe can only deliver what isn't being held onto. This cycle is the breath of the cosmos. Inhale, feel, hold, receive. Exhale, thank, rest, release. Each stage feeds the next, preparing the field for new creation. When a woman aligns with this rhythm, she lives in harmony with the pulse of existence. Manifestation then stops being a goal and becomes a state. She doesn't make things happen. She happens with them. Creation flows through her like music through a tuned instrument, and the more she tunes herself, the more she hears the universe playing the melody of her soul. And soon she'll understand that the cycle never truly ends, because the feminine doesn't create from need. She creates for the sheer joy of dancing with life itself. The universe doesn't speak English, Portuguese, or mantras. It speaks the language of conscious feminine vibration. When a woman returns to feeling, she reconnects to the origin of creation. The body, the heart, and the quantum field begin to dance again in harmony. She doesn't force life. She rocks it to the rhythm of her presence. Feminine energy doesn't ask permission to create. It manifests by existing in coherence with what it loves. Every time she honors her feelings, the universe bows in resonance. There's no resistance, only echo. And in that echo, she hears her true voice vibrating through the whole. Manifestation isn't an achievement. It's a state of consciousness. What she vibrates, she lives. When emotion and thought become one sound, reality reorganizes itself. The heart becomes the magnetic center of creation, and the universe responds with divine precision. Coherence is the language of the gods, and the awakened woman, its living translator. The woman who manifests through her heart doesn't try to control destiny. She invites it to dance. In every step, there's surrender. In every pause, trust. She knows the unseen isn't absence, it's gestation. And that timing never delays. It ripens what's already hers. Life, to her, is dialogue. The field speaks through encounters, pauses, and subtle emotions. Nothing is coincidence when the heart is awake. What arrives is a mirror. What leaves is liberation. And what stays is love vibrating in infinite forms. This woman doesn't convince the universe. She enchants it. She becomes music in the frequency of creation. Her vibration is her most powerful prayer. She doesn't need to prove anything, only to remember what she already is. Because when she vibrates love, the universe whispers back, I hear you. The awakened feminine lives in the state of creative surrender. Manifestation becomes light, organic, effortless. She knows that everything she seeks is already within her. The right frequency isn't learned, it's remembered. And once the heart remembers, it never forgets the way home. Thus she ends the cycle where it began, in feeling, because the secret was never in doing, but in being. The universe is the mirror of a heart vibrating in faith, joy, and truth. And every time she returns to presence, creation renews itself. The universe doesn't need to be convinced, only enchanted. Do you see it now? The universe never stopped responding. It was simply waiting for you to feel again. The language of creation isn't words, it's vibration. And when the feminine awakens, the whole world starts moving again to the rhythm of the heart. Everything you seek already vibrates within you. There's no distance between what you want and what you are, only frequency. When you change the feeling, you change the field. And when the field shifts, the entire universe rearranges itself to mirror your new truth. Manifestation isn't effort, it's remembrance. You don't need to chase reality. You need to inhabit it with coherence and love. Feminine energy manifests when it trusts, surrenders, and vibrates presence. And in that state, the impossible becomes natural. Now look within and ask yourself, where are you still trying to control life's flow? Where do you still doubt your own vibrational power? And what would happen if you started thanking, as if everything had already arrived? If this message resonated with you, it's because your field is ready for the next phase. The universe always responds. But first, it must feel you. So feel, breathe, trust. And if this reminded you of who you truly are, subscribe, share, and keep walking this journey of reconnection with the heart of creation. Because the universe doesn't need to be convinced. It only needs to be enchanted by you.